Achilles was invincible, unbeatable, the greatest warrior who ever lived. And while thousands of his own men were dying outside, he was sitting in his tent, refusing to fight. Not because he was wounded, not because he was afraid, because someone hurt his feelings. This is the real story of Achilles, and it is far darker than anything Hollywood ever showed you. Every culture has its greatest warrior. America has its soldiers, Japan had its samurai, China had Guan Yu. But in Western civilization, the civilization that built everything from Roman law to the US Constitution, there is one name that stands above all others: Achilles. Trained since childhood by a centaur in the arts of war and survival, faster and stronger than any man alive, blessed by divine blood, he had everything. Now here is what they never tell you. Before the war, his mother received a prophecy. 2 paths: stay home, live long, grow old, and be forgotten within a generation. Go to Troy, die young, before the walls of that city, and have your name spoken forever. Achilles chose Troy. He chose death. He traded a long life for immortality. So when the Greek army arrived at Troy, and Agamemnon, a political general, a man who had never distinguished himself in real combat, publicly stripped Achilles of his honor in front of the entire army, Achilles made a calculation. I already gave up everything for this war, and now you are treating me like I am replaceable? He walked into his tent, crossed his arms, and refused to fight. His own men begged him. His friends pleaded. His divine mother came down from the heavens. Achilles sat in his tent and did absolutely nothing. Most people hear this and think, what a petty man, what a spoiled child. But look closer. His rage was not weakness. It was the fury of a man who had already paid the ultimate price, watching lesser men squander what he had sacrificed. But here is the part that changes everything. He was wrong. While Achilles sat in his tent, the Trojans pushed the Greeks back to their ships. Men died. Good men. Soldiers he had fought beside for 10 years. They died because Achilles would not move. His best friend Patroclus came to him desperate. Let me wear your armor. Let the Trojans think I am you, just long enough to push them back. Achilles said yes. That single decision was the worst mistake he ever made. Patroclus was brave, the kind of brave that makes you do stupid things. He pushed the Trojans back. He was winning, and then he kept going when he should have stopped. Patroclus charged the walls of Troy itself. The greatest Trojan warrior, a prince named Hector, killed him. When the news reached Achilles, something inside him broke. Not his spirit, not his will, his capacity for reason. The grief that hit him was the specific grief of a man who realizes his own pride just got the person he loved most in the world killed. He did not cry. He screamed. So loud, so raw, so inhuman that his divine mother heard it beneath the sea and rose to the surface. She already knew what he was going to say. I want to kill Hector, she said. My son, if you kill Hector, you will die. The prophecy is clear. By very little time. Achilles looked at his mother and said something that has echoed through Western literature for 3,000 years. Then I will die. A man with nothing left to lose, certain knowledge of his own death, grief transformed into pure, focused rage. That man is not a warrior anymore. He is a natural disaster. Achilles returned to the battlefield, and the Trojans, men who had held their walls against the greatest army in the ancient world for 10 years, ran. Not strategically, not to regroup. They ran because every instinct in them screamed that what was coming was not human. Achilles cut through the Trojan army like the field didn't exist. He killed so many men that the river running past Troy clogged with bodies. The river god himself rose up and told Achilles to stop, not to protect the Trojans, because there were too many dead men in his waters. Achilles told the river god to get out of his way. He found Hector. Hector was everything Achilles was not. A family man, a dutiful son, a loving husband and father who stayed to defend his city when he could have run. By every measure of character, Hector was the better man. It didn't matter. Achilles ran him down outside the walls of Troy while Hector's father watched from the battlements, while his wife watched, while his young son watched. When it was over, Achilles tied Hector's body to his chariot and dragged it around the walls of Troy. Not once, every single day, for 12 days. This was not war. This was not justice. This was a man telling an entire civilization, this is what your hero gets. This is what fighting me costs you. Here's the question nobody ever asks about Achilles. We talk about his rage, his grief, his invincibility. Nobody ever asks why it had to be this way. He died young, an arrow through his heel, the one place his mother's protection hadn't reached, before he ever saw the end of the war he had helped define. But in the oldest version of this story, before Hollywood cleaned it up, there is a moment nobody includes in the movies. In the Underworld, a great hero named Odysseus encounters the shade of Achilles. Odysseus says, "You are the greatest of the dead. Surely death is not so terrible for a man of your glory." And Achilles, the Invincible, the man who chose death specifically to be remembered forever, says something that should stop every single person who hears it cold. "I would rather be a slave to the worst master on earth than king of all the dead." The man who chose glory over life spent eternity wishing he had chosen life over glory. 3,000 years later, we still tell his story. So in one sense, he got exactly what he wanted. His name lives forever. The question worth sitting with: if he had known, truly known, what forever actually feels like from the inside, would he have made the same choice? That is the question the Iliad asks. It never answers it. Neither will I.